Hi, this is Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services and welcome to my Friday Business Finance Bulletin, a weekly roundup of news, tips, ideas and strategies on raising finance and dealing with banks. So what have I got for you this week? Well, we're going to be looking at the continued rise in the asset-based finance industry. We're also going to be looking at a new player who has now entered the asset finance space, and we're going to look at an interesting and innovative way of helping UK traders trade with China. And my business finance tip of the week comes on the back of a seminar that I did earlier this week for accountants in Hereford. I'm looking at one reason why banks say no. So let's start off with the asset-based finance industry. Well, first of all, what is it? Well, asset-based finance comes in one of two forms. Number one, invoice discounting and factoring, releasing all that cash tied up in your outstanding debtor portfolio. It also comes in the form of asset finance facilities, purchasing plant and equipment and vehicles on asset finance stroke leasing deals. Well, this industry, unlike the traditional banking sector, continues to expand. As we know, bank lending is shrinking, but the asset-based finance industry continues to grow as people are tending to switch away from banks into this quicker, simpler form of finance. Now, the Asset-Based Finance Association just released its quarter end for quarter four figures to 2014, which showed that the industry as a whole did just over £19 billion in new business. Now, that's an increase of 1.3 billion on the same quarter in 2013, and it just shows it's really gathering pace. And as I mentioned, people like doing business this way because it's quicker and simpler than waiting and going through a long process that many of the banks put you through. So if you've got money tied up in invoices which are overdue, go and see those people from those industries. If you've got assets that you need to purchase, have a look at the asset-based finance facilities. Good, quick, simple way. But interestingly, the association said that there's just over £20 billion of unused facilities marked up and ready and waiting for businesses to use. So a lot of flexibility there. So just go and check them out. So if you do want to look at purchasing some assets on finance, one new player has come into the market, Secure Trust Bank. They've just recently launched an asset finance facility. Now, Secure Trust Bank may not be a name that is familiar to you, but they've actually been around for over 50 years, but mainly operating in the consumer stroke retail personal space. But in 2013, they actually started looking at lending into SMEs and are now doing a range of products of commercial mortgage, property development, business loans, and now asset finance. So if you want to go and check them out, if you've got an asset finance need, just go along to their website, securetrustbank.com, click on the business tab, and you'll find a lot more information about what they can offer you. Now, what if you trade into China? You buy stuff from Chinese companies. Right. Alibaba, it's like the Chinese equivalent of Amazon. They've done something quite unique. They've realized that there may be UK-based businesses that want to buy materials and stock generally from China via the Alibaba site. So what they've done, they've linked up with two short-term loan providers, Ezbob and IWOCA. And what they've done, they've put facilities in place so UK businesses, say wanting to buy from China, can now finance those purchases via Ezbob and IWOCA. So instead of having to find the money and put it up front, Ezbob and IWOCA will now finance that. So Ezbob will be doing loans from £50,000 up to £120,000, and IWOCA will do the loans less than £50,000. So another great example of how industries are starting to link together and almost bypassing the traditional sources of finance. So if you do trade in China, just go and check out Ezbob, IWOCA and Alibaba, and you'll find more information about how to start accessing those sort of facilities. Now, earlier this week, I was doing a seminar for approximately 20 accountants in the Hereford area. I was asked to come in and just talk about the growing sources of alternative finance. So I had a good session there talking about the rise of crowdfunding, peer-to-peer lending, equity, the asset-based finance industry, a lot of things. And obviously we'd also talked about traditional bank funding. And I went through all the 7 key reasons why banks say no. And so what I wanted you to do is to share the second reason why banks say no. And so here's a clip I did from an interview I did recently, looking at this whole reason. So let's go to that clip now, and as I've just explained reason number 1, now we go into reason number 2. Second reason then is financial information, with its being out of date. Now see, many business owners, particularly if they're limited companies, so they've got a 9-month period in which to file their accounts at Companies House. Okay. I see too many business owners who are almost waiting until the last minute to file. So let's assume your year end is on the 31st of January. You've got up until the end of September of the following year to file. The number of business owners that I would go in and round about January, July, August time, still really having done nothing.
Right.
And then suddenly the deal of a lifetime comes up where they go to the bank and say, I've got an opportunity to buy a piece of kit that's ideal for my business, or I've got a chance to buy a competitor. And this has happened to me numerous times where you say, okay, great. I think I can see why this would be a great strategic fit for your business, or why you need this piece of kit. Superb. Let's go and then put this deal together. Where are your accounts? And then there's this long pause. And they say, well, I haven't actually been to the accountant yet.
Yeah.
And I say, well, okay, we're down tools because there's nothing I can do. Because here we are in the August, your year end was December, okay? But in reality, it's a further 12 months before that was when the last full set of accounts were done.
Yeah.
So there's been over 18 months of trading that's happened.
Because they need to be at a Companies House, because then it becomes solid.
Yeah. So we've got to think from a bank's point of view. Banks work on numbers. Now, many business owners don't, but bankers get off on numbers. Yeah. There's nothing they like better than getting the calculator out and analysing a set of accounts. But they can't do that if the information is old and out of date.
Right.
Because we know the business environment changes all the time. And so you have to be bang up to date with that. And similarly then, even if you've got your audited accounts up to date, then you have to have regular manager information as well. That means monthly accounts and quarterly accounts, which is much more up to date.
Okay, and if somebody does struggle to keep their financial arrangements up to date, what sort of steps can they take to improve that process?
Right. I think the key thing is to think about outsourcing your accounts function. As I said before, many business owners don't like number crunching. It's not why they were in business. It is not as if they woke up on a Monday morning at 9 o'clock and said, do you know what? I really want to sit down and send invoices out, chase invoices and reconcile my bank account. I know, I'll start a business.
Can't beat a bit of reconciliation.
It just doesn't work that way. So it's like all things in business. If you don't get excited by it and it's not your skill set, then get rid of it. Because bookkeeping tends to be the thing that most business owners will do at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And that's when the mistakes happen or it doesn't get done at all. And again, if that information is not ready for when that deal of a lifetime comes, then you've lost the opportunity. So there we are, a couple of quick tips for you there. Make sure your financial information is always up to date. And if numbers are not your strong point, just go out and find a bookkeeper to take all that stress and hassle away from you. So there we are. That's it for this week. Thanks very much for joining me as ever. And please, if you did find this video and podcast useful, please share it amongst your colleagues and friends. So that's it for this week. Look forward to being with you again next Friday. And in the meantime, have a great, successful and profitable week. So bye-bye now.